hang on, you're gonna be okay.
No, I don't think so.
Hold on.
I think after 4 years, Pastor finally got what he wanted. All right. Tell Christopher that I care. I'll never forget him, all right? And I won't forget you either, I promise you. All right. And just make sure he never hurts anyone else again. Please. Please.
Just hold on.
I can't. I'm sorry. I love you.
Sean! No! Get that motherfucker!
This is the worst movie ever!
Hey everybody, it's John Rhodes with you once again, and I actually wanted to take this time real quick to explain what you're about to hear. Me and Mike had a segment planned for this show called Bad Movie My Ass. Well, the segment grew and it became something entirely of its own, so it's going to be the show itself. We brought on Midnight Corey from the electric chair, and we dived into this. It is insane. It was a hell of a lot of fun, and I hope all of you enjoy it. Please let us know what you think, and stay tuned because next week we're hoping to have out a companion piece the rest of this show, so enjoy.
All right, and we're back right now. We are jumping into the Bad Movie My Ass segment, and we have some callers with us. We have Midnight Corey.
Hey, good to be here. Thanks for having me on. It's a huge honor. Yeah, you guys are great, so I'm in some great company tonight.
Hey,
Gonna enjoy it.
I'm really excited to have you on. We also have Scott from Guilty Pleasure Cinema.
Hello.
Also, thank you very much for being on. And we have our growing regulars, Cody. This would be the point.
What's up, guys?
There he is. There's Cody.
And we have Avery as well.
Hi.
Yes.
Short and simple. All right. And as always is my lovable co-host,
Oh, God.
Michael J.
Well, I'm not lovable, but I'm here anyway, so okay.
All right, so in the Bad Movie My Ass segment, we're just talking about movies that we love and everyone else freaking hates.
Well, I don't know if everybody else hates them. I just know the majority of people that I know hate what I like, so.
No, I totally agree, and I think we chose this one because we've done a total of, 3 shows now, Mike? And it's pretty much been almost every show I get shit for one of the movies I like.
Not just one.
Okay. Good.
You've
Good.
got to champion it, you know.
So we kind
Elm
of
Street
figured.
remake Lover. Ugh.
Yeah, we kind of figured let's just get into this. Let's cover the whole subject and see what the hell happens.
Yeah.
So, Michael J., why don't you start us off with one of your picks?
All right, well, I'll start out with this one that I'm not sure if everybody will hate. Well, should I start with Halloween 6 or should I save that for later since everybody knows Halloween 6 already? Or you know.
Well, you might as well just cover it real quick.
Fine. There was a movie released in 1995, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. I love that movie. Everybody hates it. If you want to know why I love it and everybody else hates it, please go back and listen to past episodes of the Skeleton Crew, you'll find them somewhere. I'm not going to say where they are right here, but you'll find them, and I go into it in detail.
A lot of detail. I actually really did enjoy the episode that was just about that. But I got to say, I actually enjoy that movie.
There's
Do we
one.
have anyone else with us that kind of feels the same way?
It was a good movie. It was my favorite growing up.
Oh. And crickets from everyone else, so, yeah.
No crickets here. I love the film. I do. It had great elements. They kind of remind you of the original, and I mean, that, the broad from Teen Wolf, it was great. What can you say?
Definite crickets from me, though, Doug. I can say that, because I've not seen it, so fair enough there.
And I really enjoy all the Halloween movies, for one reason or another. I can't say that I really hate any of them. Part 6, definitely one of those that I thought was really cool. And in fact, the one right after it is good, too. I think they're just fun. And, there's some sketchy parts in them. And, yeah, they're not perfect, but it's just fun. I like Michael Myers. I just like to see Michael Myers. I think he's a great character. And it's really hard to screw him up.
The film stayed true to character for him, and that's a big thing for me. Is when it comes to these franchises, sequels, when they stay true to character on the antagonist. Change everything else up. That's fine, but as long as the antagonist is believable, I'm right there. It's good for me.
Oh boy. Well, being a host, I will go next, and then we'll get into some of our callers. Well, I kind of covered it really quickly on the last show. I like House of the Dead.
Oh, God.
And before I get a lot of shit for that one...
I hear you say this
Begins
from the last one.
already.
Yeah.
It's continuing from the last one.
Before I get a lot... I just want to cover it real quick, because it's obviously on this list. I do like it because I think it's really ambitious. The direction's decent, and I don't know, it's just kind of one of those fun ones to watch. You can't really sit down and take it seriously by any means, but I enjoy it. And you know what? So sue me.
I want to put a bullet in my
if you look
brain.
at it that way, you just go into it as it's a fun movie. And not take it seriously. It's not that bad, really. I know I bash on it a lot, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, you're not going in for a Romero movie. There's no deep content here. There's boobs, blood, a shitty story, bad acting, but decent directing, and
Ellie Cornell.
Well, Uwe Boll just has this habit of, I think, trying to make movies that he is nowhere near qualified to make. And, yeah, he tries, and I got to give him respect because he basically does whatever he wants, and he really doesn't care. But House of the Dead is just unwatchable, man. I don't know. I sat through it once just because it's like kind of a zombie movie, and I was doing a zombie podcast at the time, and so I'm like, yeah, I got to watch this and review it, keep my cred going. And wow, that was rough. That was really rough. I just can't go with you on this, man. Yeah.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
And
but, hey,
yeah,
more power to you.
Well, Corey, what would be one of your picks?
Oh wow. Well, when you brought this up, this is fantastic. My list is amazingly long because I just went nuts with this. And I started thinking of movies that I love, and it's like almost like all kinds of movies that I love are on this list, and I'm beginning to think that I just really love movies that suck, and it's just crazy. But I don't know. I'll start off sort of in the mainstream. Some of these are more obscure, but the most mainstream one that I have, and I'm actually going to kind of lump two movies into one here.
Okay.
Is Rob Zombie's Halloween and H2, because I loved them both.
Brilliant.
I thought they were great movies. Definitely Rob Zombie movies. He was just doing whatever he wanted to do. He just took it and ran with it. And it's so many. And if you guys are the kind of people that really love the original and it can't do any wrong and stuff, I hope I don't rub you the wrong way here. But it seems like people who love the original Halloween are just like so offended by this film that they just can't accept that somebody else just decided to sort of do their own take with it and kind of re-envision a lot of what was going on. And do backstory with Michael Myers and things. I mean, so what? It's Rob Zombie, who to me, I love the guy. And I just saw he was just putting stuff out there. The studio, at least in H2, they gave him a lot of creative freedom. I think they were a little more kind of on him for the first film, but for the second one, he just really took it out there, and that really alienated a lot of people. A lot of people really hating on H2. But man, I didn't care. I was just loving it the whole way. It's such fun movies. So I'm going to lump them right into one film because basically, I mean, it's a direct continuation, part 1 and 2. So just as a whole, I love them, and people just seem to hate on these films with a passion. So.
I think a lot of what that is just a lot of purists not wanting it to be remade, not wanting it to be retold. But I'm totally on board with you. I enjoy the first one. I actually think the second one is better because they allowed him more freedom and he got to go into places that he really wanted to with the story and make it more original than the original series.
My only problem with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 was that they kept Danielle Harris in the house the whole time, and I wish she was able to do more. But I really loved the remake and the sequel.
Right, they didn't use her much at all, and that was a major beef with me too. I agree.
Well, yeah, that's no wonder if you, Mike. You're a little creepy with her, but
I can't help it. I have her pants. What can I say?
Hey, I agree 100% with Mike on this. That she was totally underused in both the films. Really, I feel. I mean, the woman is an amazing actress. And I'm not gonna. I didn't really care for H2. A lot of people are, like you guys were saying, really liked H2 better than the Halloween remake. And H2, I just couldn't get into it for some reason. And I appreciate Zombie doing his own thing with it. I really do. But I don't know. It just did not feel like a Halloween film to me.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, one thing to counter the whole Danielle Harris thing, I mean, she may have been slightly underutilized, but Scout was great in it. And honestly, Danielle's death in part 2 is probably one of the most memorable deaths to me in any horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
any unrated version.
Yeah.
I mean, the way Brad Dourif just breaks down when he really, that
mixed with the footage from when she was a child.
Oh, her with the dog was just too priceless for me.
And the thing, about Rob Zombie that I think rubs a lot of people the wrong way too is how much he loves to use his wife in films. Sherry Moon, and no, she's not the best actress in the world, but I don't know. He really likes to put her up there on screen and show her ass a lot, I think, and kind of, I don't know. He puts her in everything. So again, I'd like to see her on screen. She's obviously nice to look at and everything, and like I said, not the best actress, but I thought she did well, in both parts. Even the crazy, riding on a white horse, sort of weird stuff going on in H2. I think Sherry Moon just fits into his movies, and so that's how does Sherry Moon rub you guys? I mean, do you guys like Sherry Moon at all, or is she kind of weak for Zombies films? What do you think?
I like Sherry, but the thing is, with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, what didn't make sense about her character was in the first Halloween Rob Zombie did, she was the nicest thing that Michael had in his world, and so I don't understand why she's kind of made to look like this bad person in Halloween 2. It's understandable that Judith Myers isn't there because she was, just terrible to Michael, but the one person that really gave him hope, I guess you could say, was his mother, and now in part 2 she just comes back as this kind of bad spirit.
Yeah, but I think that was just pretty much his mind and portraying his mother to deliver a lot of the messages. So,
Yeah.
but I am actually a fan of her. And honestly, if I was married to a woman that looked like that, I would definitely have her in all my movies too. I mean, she's pretty decent. And I'm actually looking forward to the Lords of Salem to see if she can carry a movie or not. So.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that.
And when all the people want to give him crap about that, honestly, it kind of annoys me because Tim Burton casts his wife a lot. Judd Apatow casts his wife a lot. It happens all the time.
I didn't even know Tim Burton was married. When did that happen?
Yeah, Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's his
No, Johnny Depp.
Oh, good one.
Well put.
Well, a guy looking like Tim.
Sorry to
Burton
ruin
get a girl
that.
Looking like that.
No, that was worth it.
Yeah, no, that definitely
was. Well, let's just keep this rolling. Scott, our neighbor from the north, what is one of your picks, buddy?
Are we talking horror here or in general? Because I'm more of an action guy, as I've said, so it really depends on what we're looking at. Because I've got 25 reviews up, and there's 25 picks right there. Because guilty pleasures, right? So, sorry, 24. I reviewed Twilight. I'll take that out. So,
wow, I'm sorry.
That was paying off a debt. Oh god. True guilty pleasure though. I mean, that's how I'm looking at it. Because there's
fun.
To me, there's a difference in like a guilty pleasure where you celebrate something that. Well, my tagline: celebrating movies you're embarrassed to love. But then there's also ones that are so bad they're good, right? For me, it's like the underseen ones. And I can think of a recent one I spent a lot of time on was Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. People hated that movie. I thought it was fun as hell.
I was told to avoid it like the plague, so I don't know.
Well, I looked at it. I look at it from an attitude like people looked at that and think, that's stupid. That looks dumb. But they're the same people complaining there's nothing original in Hollywood. It's about America's favorite president as a badass vampire hunter that no one knew about. Okay, cool. And it was fun. It's from the director of Wanted. Tim Burton produced it, so surprisingly Depp wasn't in it. But, I mean, that's horror-y, I guess. But there's action in there, too. It was a lot of fun. And I think the key for it was it knew what it was. It wasn't trying to be Lincoln with vampires. It was crazy, over-the-top action. So it fit. Like you were saying, even with Halloween 6, it knows what it is. It's not trying to be super deep or anything. It's trying to be exactly what it gave you. That's the key. So when it gets unfairly criticized,
be a Halloween film.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I actually saw this in theaters. My only complaint towards it is I've actually read the novel, and
yeah, my argument there is he wrote the screenplay too, so whatever.
Yeah, that kind of gets me because the novel was more impactful, and I think the story would have been better if they stuck closer to that. But it wasn't terrible in my opinion. I just think some of the CGI was a little off, and the axe foo was a bit much for me. But
what?
He uses.
Hold on, did you say axe foo?
Yes, he did.
What the hell is that?
Kind of like a kung fu style that he does with it. It's kind of weird.
Axe foo. Never heard. Okay, well, weird.
He spins it almost like nunchucks in a way.
Yeah. I made a term. Sorry, Mike.
Oh, okay. That's bound to happen every once in a while, I guess. Wow.
Yeah, sorry, you're working with somebody original.
Yeah,
so
I'm unoriginal, so I don't know what that means. Okay.
But I mean, yeah, that would probably be a fair pick there. I mean, you could look at anything. I've reviewed stuff like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which I know people revile that. I thought it was fun. Yeah, I liked it too. Daredevil, people hated that, but I think people just hate on Daredevil and Ben Affleck, whatever. So stuff like that. It's there's more to it than just. It's hard to explain it, but there's more to it than people give credit to because there's a lot going into it that gets overlooked unfairly, no less. It's not trying to be anything deep or moving. It's trying to be in Daredevil's case, a movie about a blind man with the superpower of sight. All right, but that's what they do, and it's well shot, it's well filmed, the action is good. Oh, but it's Ben Affleck. Well, who cares? If he's pulling it off, it's all good. And that's where the guilty pleasure comes in. That's you got to champion that if you like it. Who cares? It did what it wanted you to get out of it, so you are its fan. You're the one that was going for, so that's what mattered. So,
see, but people seem to forget that Affleck was the bomb in Phantom, Joe.
Well, all right.
Wow. And not many of us got that, but yeah, I'm not covering Phantom. Sorry, Mike.
Hey, do you know that Phantoms was directed by Joe Chappelle, who also directed Halloween 6?
Really?
Yeah, I bet you didn't know that.
I didn't.
I did not.
All right, well, keeping it pushing past Mike's trivia.
Of course.
Cody, what is one of your picks, buddy?
Oh, I'm going to have to go with Halloween 5.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I have it playing on my projector right now. It's a bad movie. I'll give it that, but it does have some really powerful scenes and great scenes with the wonderful Donald Pleasance.
Okay, hold on a second. Cody, you said you have a projector.
Yes.
So wait. So right now, Donald Pleasance is on a projector, like on a screen, being projected onto a screen in your house.
Absolutely.
You lucky son of a bitch.
Calm down, Mike. Calm down. Stay focused. Stay professional. Come on. We're working here.
It's very difficult to do that now that I know that he's got a projector.
Well, as long as we're still friends, there's always Christmas in a couple months, right?
Exactly. We have to move past this because I can't think about it anymore. Go ahead.
Mike, if it makes you feel any better, I actually have 2 projectors.
Oh my God.
During warm weather, I have a rather large porch, and I got a big screen out there too.
Oh God, I want to come to your house so bad. Come on.
Anytime, Mike.
Oh.
All right. I really don't have a whole lot for Halloween 5. I kind of enjoy that one. I can't really critique that any. So.
Why did people find Wendy Kaplan annoying, though? Like, that's my question. She was awesome in that movie. And
I
nobody
think
liked
because
her.
everybody loved Ellie Cornell so much in Halloween 4. And, and Wendy Kaplan, I mean, she just wasn't a replacement for Ellie Cornell. You know, everybody was just kind of wondering why did they kill her off and put her in her place.
Yeah,
know?
true.
But Donald Pleasance, awesome in the film, as always, in any film he was ever in. But aside from that, I mean, it has some very powerful scenes in it, I thought at least, especially toward the end, where Jamie Lloyd's hiding in the coffin and he finds her, you know, and she says, "Wait, Uncle Boogeyman," and, you know, the single tear streaming down his face was a bit much, but still, you know, what I really like about it, a lot of people complain about that aspect, the whole thorn aspect and everything, but, you know, they were trying to expand on the character, build the character some more, and yeah, it's arguable whether it did or did not work, but, you know, there are people who want the same movie made over and over again, and then there are people who want to see them expand on characters and grow, you know, with the characters. But, you know, they tried to do that there, and I respect them wholeheartedly for that. You know, they created conflict more. They show that the antagonist actually had some conflict, and to me, conflict in the antagonist or protagonist of a story that's what makes the story.
My beef, though, is that, okay, in the one, just, you know, in Halloween 4, he had the burn scars, and 5, they just didn't exist. I don't get that.
Super healing, Mike. It's the power of Thorn.
See, there's 2 sides on that with the details, too, because from the horror side of it, most people just see the Halloween movies as random slasher kills people. that's all the familiarity they have. They don't realize there's more to it, and there's actual character and conflict and things going on. They see it the same way as any slasher, at least from the general side. Just take a step back from what I've encountered with it. Like I said, Abraham Lincoln, this is a stupid idea. Well, did you actually go look at what it is and see what's in there to maybe pull something out that you like? That sounds like what is happening with some of the Halloween ones, too. You guys know a lot of the details of it, so that's awesome, but the general public isn't as familiar. They just see Michael Myers kills people, part 6. You know?
Yeah,
so,
there's definitely certain assumptions that the public,
unfairly
sort of adheres to. Yeah, whenever you see part 4, 5, 6, 7 of whatever, they're like, oh my God, here we go again. It's just this guy killing this guy, and you see a lot of blood and whatever. And I think it's really unfair because, there are inconsistencies, and it's I don't know, a lot of back and forth, but I think there is much more to all of these Halloween films and a lot of other franchises that go way up in number. Then I think people think that they do, and I think that most of the people, or at least a good number of the people who are bashing movies like this, don't even give them a shot. They just look at part 7. Yeah, they just look at part 6, part 7, whatever. Oh man, that's just the same thing all over again. And that's unfair. That's unfair. I agree.
No, I totally agree. And when it comes to the Halloween films, I actually want to say that the Halloween films out of the slasher series is probably the best done story-wise, and I don't know, just character-driven. I think that one, out of all of them, is probably the best series.
Probably, yeah, because I'm sure the other franchises actually did become just Freddy Kills Part 8 and stuff like that. So that didn't help, because if one did it, everybody must be doing that, right? So
Nightmare went south after Part 1, for crying out loud.
Agreed.
And then,
So, but I mean, if Die Hard could get away with it with Part 5 coming up, Die Hard is more of the same every time, so people don't really argue that. And yet this is more of the same, but it's more of the same of that. So I don't know. It's unfair.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Avery, just to keep this moving, what's one of your picks, bud?
Well, originally I was gonna start off by saying Halloween 3, but to avoid making this whole thing about Halloween series, I'm actually gonna go with the Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Yes.
Oh God.
Let me strike that one from my list because we're gonna cover that now.
Avery, I love you, but I don't understand. Help me understand, John and Avery, and if any of you other guys like the Nightmare remake, help me understand why it's good, please.
No, I need help as well, then, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not better than the original, obviously. It doesn't even come close, but what I like about, the remake is that it's kind of darker and stuff, and although it plays off a little bit too much on the child molestation thing, just the fact that there's more of a balance in terms of, how can I put this? They're actually trying to track down Freddy and stuff instead of just kind of fearing him, because I feel like that's already been done. And I don't know, I also like how they use the Everly Brothers song Dream in the movie. That was kind of weird. So, but I don't know, I still like Robert Englund as Freddy.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong when I say that I also really like this one. I really love the original, and I agree that the original is better, but as a film by itself, this is a good movie. The actors were good in it. The direction is good. And the story is different enough that I think if people are willing to give it a chance, it is a good movie. It has some solid scares. It is much darker, so...
See, there's a quantifier right there. You're allowed to like both. Some people think that you have to like one or the other, and the moment you say the original's better, remakes can't be good. Or if you like the new one, the original's inferior. Well, you can like both. I like both Total Recalls for some reason, but hey, you can like both. It's possible.
Well said, Scott, man. I just hate these people. They're like, if the kids nowadays all they know is the remakes. All they're going to do is go see the Nightmare remake, and all they're going to do is go see the Halloween remake, and they're not going to know that the originals existed and be influenced by that. And I'm like, what the hell? I mean, are these kids not smart enough to realize that there were movies before this, and there were films, and this is a remake? I mean, I hate that argument, that they're just like, these are the movies that kids are going to see first. And, I don't get it. I don't get it. And then, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Actually, I was just going to add in there that I haven't bothered to give the Nightmare remake a chance, even though I do love, what's his name, the lead actor, Jackie
Earl Haley.
Yeah, I loved him in Watchmen, and
absolutely.
He's a great actor, I think, and I was really, really pumped up by the trailer in this. But I delayed seeing this when it came to theaters, which I think was a mistake, because then I started hearing the reviews, and of course, which were the majority negative. And again, they're just bashing on it because of the whole focusing on the child molester aspect of it, and a lot of other things have changed. So I've been putting it off. I just haven't given it a chance. But being that it made this list, I may give it a shot, and just keep these things in mind. So I was just going to throw that in.
If you do, Jackie Earle is great in it, and I don't know. Go in open-minded, honestly, is really the best advice I can give you. Past that, I think it's stupid to give any advice. Just try and keep an open mind, because to me, by itself as a film, it's really good.
The actress who plays Nancy in it, she did good, but after that movie came out, she just sort of bashed on the whole movie, and she said that she didn't want to even do it. Yet I have, Fangoria magazines where she's interviewed, and she talks about how she's so glad she got to do it and everything. So it didn't really make sense to me. And so I sort of think it was kind of bitchy for her to cut down a movie that she seemed so pumped about when it kind of actually she did good in. So.
Well, what that is it was the movie that got her known, and then she kind of wants to turn her back on it because it's horror. So that's happened a lot.
I kind of like the chick that was the lead in Friday the 13th Part 3. She bashed the hell out of it, and look where her career went after that.
Right. Yeah.
But she did come back and do commentary on the third one for the, I guess it was like 20th anniversary or something. So.
Oh yeah, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, it was released in the box set that came out in 2004, I believe.
Yeah.
So, Mike,
check that out.
Mike, you got another pick for us?
I guess so. But you guys might actually like this, because I mean, I love all four of these, but I know everybody else would probably hate on, well, maybe you'll like the first one, but then after that it kind of drops. But I'm going to have to say Critters. I like Critters a lot.
I think it sucks.
Sure, I've seen all of them, yeah.
I actually own the box set.
No.
I mean, by no means are they good. To me, they're equal of House of the Dead. So that tells you right there.
They're fun,
Well, it's a whole different generation we're talking about. I mean, this is the 80s. And I think you sort of have to think about that when you're watching it. And when it came out...
you got to look at it from a completely different angle.
Yeah, and I think that makes it a whole lot more fun when you watch it. So I'll give you the first one.
John?
Yeah.
Okay, House of the Dead, okay, you said that, okay, I'm trying to compute this in my brain, and it kind of makes no sense.
You can hear his brain breaking right now.
Yeah, there's like steam coming out of my ears, so I don't get it. How? What? Okay, we got to move forward because I don't get it.
But here's the thing: it's fun to me. It's a decent film. The direction's pretty good. The acting's decent, but all in all, it's about the same level. Is it better? Yeah, I would probably rate that one slightly, like 1 point above House of the Dead. But when it comes right down to it, is it a great movie that I'd have to say to everybody go out and watch it?
Yes.
Hell no. But if you enjoy these kinds of movies, yeah, check it out, definitely.
Okay, I still got to wrap my brain around that one, but anybody else got it?
No, they're effective for what they are, definitely. I've seen the first one, and it works. I mean, the box art is these little demons with giant teeth, and they're smiling. That tells you what you need to know right there going in.
You got to see the third one. That was Leonardo DiCaprio's first movie, and then the fourth one when they're in space. I mean, come on.
Honestly,
Yeah.
honestly, I own
Sold. What about the second, though?
Second was good, too.
I own the box set, and I stop at number 2.
Oh, that's not
DiCaprio in
no.
space. I mean,
That's not...
didn't you hear him?
Exactly. You have to go past part 2. Have you seen 3 or 4 or no?
Yes, I have.
Watch them again tonight. That's your homework.
No, actually,
Mike, what's the guy in it? The guy, that
Charlie?
goes with the alien. He's in all 4 of them. He makes the fucking movie.
Yeah, Charlie, the alcoholic
Charlie,
guy that rides
Charlie.
the bike. Yeah.
Yeah, I did really like his character. Actually, I'm going to end up watching 976 Evil tonight. That's my homework. I've never seen it, so that's what I'm watching tonight.
That would probably end up on
Sadly,
this list
I've
for
never
some
seen it either. I've seen the sequel, unfortunately, but I've never seen the original. And that was, if I'm not mistaken, Robert Englund's directorial debut.
Exactly.
Yes. You know, it was another movie. Speaking, I got to go all. I mean, another Robert Englund movie that came out. Well, that he directed, Killer Pad. It's like kind of like a horror comedy. Did anybody see that?
Never even heard of that.
I have not seen it. I've heard of it. I have not seen it.
It's actually pretty decent. It's got Joey Lawrence is in it actually.
Does he die?
I believe he does, but it's been a while since I've seen it. So
I might watch it then.
All right, so I guess it's my pick. So I'm going to go with Chud. Something that's been bashed repeatedly to hell and accused of being one of the worst movies ever. But honestly, I love it. I think it's a great movie. It has so much of the 80s feel to it, and just the amount of cameos of people starting their careers in it, and how ambitious of a film it was.
Well, I didn't see it yet, but I got a question. Does Daniel Stern do his Wonder Years voiceover in it at all?
No.
No?
Well, John, you
actually,
just
him and Dan Goodman are just in it at the very end. It's probably been 20 years since I've seen that film, but it's good. It's worth checking out, I promise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. And, John, you've just redeemed yourself from this House of the Dead thing you were going on there before. Because, it's been a long time since I've seen Chud as well. But I just remember loving it. And it's I think it's up on Netflix streaming right now. I think they finally put it up there.
Yeah, it is.
And,
Chud 2.
Yeah.
They made it a comedy. It's horrible, but it's so bad it's worth watching.
Yeah.
Robert Vaughn.
Oh, Robert Vaughn's in that one. Shit, I like him. He's pretty good.
Yeah,
I rented this on
pretty
VHS.
good.
Yeah, I rented this on VHS a long time ago, I think when I was in college or something. And that's what, I mean, you brought it up in Critters as well, the cover, the VHS cover. It's just so cool, and especially movies during the 80s, man, I get all nostalgic and everything, thinking about going up and down the aisles of my VHS rental store and seeing all these films, man. And of course, Critters was one of them, along with Chud and like Ghoulies, and I could just go on all night about how great an experience that was, and how those covers sort of drew me in to see the movie, whether or not it was good or bad. I always loved the covers of these films. And,
well, you saying that just brought, I hadn't thought about it in years actually, but going to the video store when I was a kid, seeing Chud on the shelf, it had the box cover had where you'd press it, it had the zombie thing on front, and you press it and the eyes would glow green, and I was fascinated by that as a kid.
Oh man, I never got to see that one.
Yeah, I want that shit.
yeah, you'd press on the cover and the eyes would flash green. I mean, it was, and I didn't get to see it till like 10 years later. But I was always fascinated by it just because of that.
Funny little bit, I bet at least 3 of us, after this segment's over, is probably going to be on eBay trying to find that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look that one up.
I'm already on it. I'm already there.
All right, Midnight Corey, do you have another pick for us?
I have lots of other picks, and it's just hard picking one to talk about here. Oh, man, there's so many. I'm going to go with another 80s film. This is a little later 80s, and it's going to be a sequel that a lot of people really don't like because the original was so good. It was so awesome. But I'm going with Return of the Living Dead Part 2.
Really?
I love that film. It was, I don't know if it has to do with the fact that it was actually the first Return of the Living Dead film that my parents let me see. Because I was allowed to see the first one up until Linnea Quigley started stripping in the cemetery, and then my mom shut it off and said, "You're never seeing this movie again." And so it was literally like years and years later till I got to finish Return. And of course, Part 2 was a lot more tame. There's no nudity, which was the big devil in that in the first one. So I got to watch Part 2 as a kid, and I really, really liked it. And I still, to this day, I really enjoy that film. It's sort of an oddity as far as zombie movies go because it is from the perspective of a child. And that is, I think, something to be said. And yeah, it's sort of cheesy at times. You look at some of the, how they do some of the zombies. You have the Michael Jackson zombie at the end, and it's, weird stuff like that. But again, we have the brilliant duo of James Karen and Tom Matthews that we saw in the original. I just love their chemistry together. We see a lot of references to the first movie where, in the first movie, of course, they're working in the medical warehouse. In the second movie, they're grave robbers. And we see a lot of, repeated lines like, "What's your mouth, boy, if you like this job?" and "like this job," and, things like that. And I just appreciate that. The gore in the movie I thought was really, really good. And it's just a fun ride. The return of Tar Man, in the whole, that whole water scene. And, man, I don't know. I thought it was a worthy sequel to the first one. So, and it's one that not a lot of people like. I get a lot of crap because of this one. So, Part 2. Have you guys seen it?
I have. I saw it when I was a teenager, and honestly, I just remember mostly a lot of the cheesiness. I did remember relating to it because at the time, like I said, I was a teenager, and relating to it because it was from the kid's perspective. But one of the things that also stuck to me was how they ended up killing the zombies. That kind of struck me as kind of cheesy, but hearing your description of it really makes me want to seek it out again and just see if it is a bad movie, my ass. So, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't go without its flaws, of course. I mean, it's kind of weird they lead all of the zombies to this power plant with just this trail of cow brains,
Right.
So, yeah, that's, yeah, okay. I mean, you just sort of go with it. And, I don't know. It just worked for me. I just still love it. So.
But
yeah.
Most of us have heard the zombie episode. I actually really like Return of the Living Dead. I referenced that quite a bit. So to me, with that one almost being a classic zombie film, in my opinion, I'm going to check this one out again just from hearing your take on it.
That means a lot, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Anyone else?
I like it a lot.
I remember a detail from, I can't remember if it was the first one or the second one. I saw it when I was a kid. I remember one specific part where someone was being hugged. They didn't realize it was a zombie. And then the zombie bit the person in the head, and it was the sound of an apple being bitten. I don't know why that sticks in my head, but I remember that one specific bit still now. So that might have been 2, I think, but I don't remember. But it's weird how I remember that years later. It's just, that's mine.
I know exactly what you mean.
And
There
more
you go.
cops.
See, that just makes me want to watch it more.
Yeah. Oh, great effects! Like I just again, very very bloody and gory. You see brains getting. I mean, you see James Karen, actually biting into the skull of somebody, and they're ripping up all the flesh and everything, and the brains sort of pouring out. I mean, it's great. It's very gory, and I'm a gorehound. I love that kind of stuff, so I'll go for it every time. But it's a movie. I think it's so unfairly treated. Because, again, the first one was just very, very raw, a lot of language, a lot of nudity and stuff like that. But I don't know. Loved it. And actually, I have a 2-year-old son. And while he was still maybe 6 months old, something like that, I was sitting down one day and I was watching Return of the Living Dead Part 2 on Netflix. And my wife comes home with the baby and everything. She's like, "Here, Corey, can you watch him for a while?" Yeah, so I take him. And he's still he's awake, but he's sort of oblivious and everything. So I'm like, okay, I can keep this movie on, and it's probably not going to, affect him for life or anything. And so I can probably say that my son's very first zombie film that he ever saw, whether he remembers it or not, is going to be this one, Return Part 2.
Nice.
So,
You'll have to let him know that later.
Oh, I will. And like I said, I just hope I haven't scarred him for life. And this is something that's going to bubble up, years later, and it's just whatever.
Well, I can put it this way, just to help ease your nerves. You might have actually helped create a horror fan, because my sister is about 10 years older than me. So when I was growing up, she was in the teen stage when the 80s horror movies were the biggest. And probably the first 2 movies I remember seeing were Poltergeist and Friday the 13th. And they didn't really affect me negatively. They just turned me into a huge horror fan.
Nice. Yeah, well, that gives me hope, at least. And, yeah, so anybody else have thoughts on Part 2? Have you seen it? Or?
Oh, loved it. And actually, I saw Part 2 before I saw Return of the Living Dead. And I was a teenager whenever I saw Part 2. But it was fun. I mean, it's a fun horror movie, a fun zombie horror movie. And I love the first one too, watching it. But the second one, it was what it was. It was just, it seemed like it was just a horror movie that was made just to be fun. It didn't have as much of a serious tone as the original, but it was good. What can you say? Like I said, the whole Michael Jackson zombie thing and all that. It was, they threw something in there for everybody.
Yeah, and at least the zombies look good. I mean, they put a lot of work into makeup, prosthetics.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's a lot to be said for that, because again, when filmmakers make a zombie movie, a lot of times they skimp on that, especially lower budget films. And I just really, really appreciate whenever they pay attention. I mean, even if the zombie is on screen for 2 seconds, man, you make that zombie really, really look dead and shriveled and gnarled up and everything. I really appreciate seeing that. And they did that in this film. I can't offhand think of who the effects guy was, and I used to know, but I don't know. But they did a great job, and I think again, it's a fitting sequel that people hate. So what can you do?
All right. With that being said, Scott, do you have another pick for us?
Yeah, I've been thinking over a couple here, and I'm going to say one that I know a lot of people, they don't know what it really is, I guess, but probably Dog Soldiers.
Oh!
That is underrated as hell. That is a fantastic werewolf movie that breaks all the rules and has it going against competent military soldiers. It's fucking awesome. And the fact there's no sequel yet is a travesty. the whole idea for the... Oh, my God.
Really, Mike?
Really? I mean, I've seen it in the store, but I've just... Actually, I think I might even own it. But I don't think I've watched it, but I think I have it.
Check it out, Mike. Seriously.
Yeah, you really should. It's from the director of The Descent.
Oh, well, now...
It's like his first movie, I think, right? Or was that... Oh, I can't remember exactly if it was his first main one, but...
Oh, well,
I think it was one of his first big ones, and then he went on to do The Descent. To me, this was a really good movie. I greatly enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, actually, but it is on. I have this file that I keep of movies, and every time that somebody recommends a movie to me, like a strong recommendation, you've got to see this, I add it to my list. And Dog Soldiers is on that list of movies that I have to see. So,
yeah, the basic idea, you've got this military team, and they're on a training mission. And like, one guy doesn't want to be there, the other guy's trying to keep track of the soccer game, stuff like that. I'm trying to remember, one of them is named Bruce Campbell, if I remember correctly, too. Like, that's how referential they get with this. They come across their opposing squad, but it's like a gutted camp. There's the gear left behind, no bodies, and blood everywhere. So, like, what the hell was that? And they think some kind of bear animal got it. And they go along and they learn that it's werewolves. And kind of like Underworld werewolves. Big, big werewolves. And they fight through it, and I'll leave it at that. The idea for the sequel, though, would have been that team comes back. The one, because they're werewolves now. So, military werewolves. Why haven't they made that yet?
Honestly, because the director moved on to further his career, probably.
Yeah,
well,
I
there
know.
was the Dog Soldiers, too. I haven't seen it.
No, there's not. There's not yet. And Scott,
it's been rumored for years.
You're absolutely right. One of the characters was named Bruce Campbell, and
yes.
I know that because I love Bruce Campbell.
Of course, John, we know.
That's why I brought it up. But no, Dog Soldiers is, people to see it, I think the box art said it's Tremors, Predator, Starship Troopers, Aliens, and American Werewolf in London all combined into one movie. And people are like, oh, that sounds stupid. Like, you're stupid. That sounds awesome. That's all the selling point I need.
Dude, Tremors is good shit.
Wow.
I was thinking that one too, actually, but I went with Dog Soldiers. But yeah, like, it's the selling point is it's these 8 movies. Well, they're all awesome. Therefore, and yeah, it's great. It's a little known British movie that really needs to be more known. I'm probably going to do a review on it at some point, actually, because it's so good.
Actually, go.
Oh, no, I was just going to ask about, it's sort of inevitable right now that there's going to be some CGI in it, and probably a lot of CGI. And I was just curious as to how that looked in this one, how they used it. I mean, was there a lot, and was it noticeable? Was it good? Was it bad? I mean, what do you think?
Well, actually, a lot of it was practical.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm Wikipediaing it right
back,
now.
And a lot of it was practical. They used a werewolf kind of sparse for most of the movie. So
yeah, I'm just looking quickly online. There's no details, but it's a lot of practical. There's a brutal fight in the kitchen, and it's a guy fighting a guy in a suit. Like, there's very little I can remember of actual CGI in it. The budget was tiny. It was like this old couple decided, let's invest our retirement, and that's how it was funded. Like, they thought it was a cool idea, and there we go. So that's the idea there. It's got direct references to, like, Zulu and Evil Dead, for crying out loud. Again, it's an example of knowing what you're doing. They knew what they were making going in, so super fun movie. Easy recommendation.
Well, while I'm not one of those people to automatically hate CGI at all, because it can be used well.
True.
I certainly admire a film that's going to use a lot of practical effects, and they have the balls to put a guy in a suit and film it and be confident enough that they can pull this off. Something effective and believable and not cheesy. So, man.
That's part of it being a product of its time. It's from 2002? So it's we're talking a decade old here. Yeah, it's before Descent. It's Neil Jordan. Wow. It's before that one, I believe.
I didn't know it was that old.
That's with a shoestring budget, you've got to figure things out and do it in camera. So there is no effects budget, really. It's let's get the guys out there and go. So, picture, if you've seen Zulu or know about the Battle of Rorke's Drift, imagine that with SAS soldiers fighting werewolves. And there's a cabin in the woods, for crying out loud, that they bunker down. And it's, Then there's a twist.
Don't even
oh,
get me
God.
started with Cabin in the Woods, please. Oh, God.
I've not seen that, so fair enough. I'll leave it
Please
off.
don't see it. Ugh.
It's a good movie. Fuck you, Mike.
And yet I've heard
insane.
I've heard it's actually this is the perfect example. Some people love that one because of what it is. Others hate it because of what it is. Okay.
Yeah, another one I haven't seen, but Dog Soldiers. You know, like I said, it's been on my list, but I think I've moved it to position number 1.
Yes,
it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it.
So this better be good, or I'm kind of going to be pissed at you guys. So, you know.
Go for it.
Definitely worth checking
I stand
out.
by that. That's
nice.
It's going to be a future review I do, and these things take me a week or two, so if I'm going to dedicate that time to it, there you go.
All right. Well, thank you for that. That was awesome.
No problem.
All right, keeping it pushing. Cody, do you have a pick for us?
Well, this might be a bit too obvious, but I'm going to say Friday the 13th, Part 3.
Okay.
Great movie, Cody. I love that movie.
I had so much fun with that movie whenever I was a kid, and I can still watch it. I watched it recently, and before it was even out in 3D, before it was even available in 3D on DVD or VHS. But it's a fun movie, and people like to trash it so much for the acting. I mean, what Friday movie are they not going to trash the acting? Honestly?
Yes.
But
a lot of people in that movie were just. My dad said they were porn stars, and it was really funny because none of them can act either. So.
Yeah. But I mean, the character like Shelley, who couldn't relate to him?
I did like that.
I just really enjoyed the film. The 3D effects were corny as shit, but it was 3D effects. What can you say? I'm not going to say it didn't add to the movie having those, most of them at least. But it was fun. It was a fun 3D movie and fun 3D 80s movie. They were just the characters. I thought it had good character development with a lot of the characters. I said Shelley. What was the chick? The Aladdin chick that he was hitting on.
Oh,
Vera.
Vera. Yeah.
Catherine Parks
takes an arrow to the eye. Yeah.
Oh, that was a great one. When she's like, that sound. I love that sound effect. When she gets
absolutely,
that's
absolutely. And I've always felt that movie did not get near the credit it deserved.
No, as a teenager, that was one of my favorites. Possibly my favorite of the Friday the 13th series. And I have recently watched all of them, and it's still up there. It's not one of my top ones. But for a lot of the people that want to give it crap and say that people just like it because he gets the mask, I have to say they're kind of full of shit, because there are some really good elements to this. Like, the fact that he can't be stopped. She tries to hang him, and he just picks himself up by the rope and pulls it off. That's kind of fucking scary.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I love this was going on during a time in the 80s when, 3D was sort of resurfacing. And so they were taking advantage of that. And so you have the yo-yo scene, where the guys, they're bouncing a yo-yo towards the camera. And of course it came out in 3D. And a lot of the kill scenes. Oh, yeah. So many of the kills, sort of shot out at you as you were watching it. So I just love that. Yes. Oh. But
that's one of my
that
favorite kills too.
And but a lot of that was put in just because they knew it was going to be 3D and that they knew it was going to have that effect. And watching it 2D nowadays, it's a little weirder because you're like, why the hell am I seeing this shot of this guy with the yo-yo, or why am I seeing this shot? But you just have to I think you have to realize that this is the period that it was in, and 3D was all the craze, as we, no, son of a bitch, we're seeing nowadays. So I just like that. But I think it's a fun. I love Part 3 as well. And Friday the 13th. We're talking about Halloween and how I have so much fun with basically every movie in the Halloween series. And Friday the 13th is another one of those that I don't know. I can sort of really, really suspend disbelief for a lot of those films, even going through the more modern Friday the 13th films, and some of those might have made my list, maybe.
Actually, there's a Friday the 13th on my list. So,
Jason X.
No, actually, Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh.
Wow. I'm sorry.
I would actually make a brief argument for Jason X. There was a lot of fun in that.
I love Jason X. I thought the virtual Crystal Lake was amazing.
Yeah.
With the two
the sleeping bag on the tree? Yeah.
Come on. You cannot dispute that. That was awesome.
rooted so much for him at the beginning fighting the cops. I went, hey, all right, he's a full-on hero. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, the ending was the only thing that confused me.
That was the first Friday the 13th film I got to see at the theater, and any of your franchises you love, horror franchises you love, you always have that. You're always partial to that first one you get to see on the big screen.
Absolutely.
I was lucky enough to see that one because I think there was a bootleg going around because it was delayed for theaters for like a year or two. And I went to Confederation College up here in Thunder Bay, and I went to film there. One of the alumnus founded Toy Box, the special effects studio in Toronto. They worked on Jason X. He brought a copy when he came to do a talk with us. There was the rough cut a year before theaters. So I saw it then. And, you've got your green screen effects and stuff in it that aren't fully done yet. But we still had a blast watching it. So you've got something good when you're able to pull it off at that point before they even finish it. So that's a fun one. And I think that's the first actual Friday the 13th I saw all the way through. So, yes, it's my first one. So there we go. The argument holds up a bit.
Yeah, I remember I got a copy of it, 6 months before it hit theaters. I found somebody that was selling a VHS copy over the internet.
Yep,
I paid
exactly.
$20 for it, and I got it in the mail. I put it in the VCR, and it flipped every 2 seconds. So it was like a consistent flip, so I could hear it, but I could barely see it. But I still watched it. I couldn't see what was going on, but I could hear the movie. And I told everybody, I'm like, dude, I got Jason X 6 months before it hits theaters. I am awesome. And people are like, oh, let me see it. I want a copy. I want a copy. I want a copy. So I would copy it for people, and they'd be like, this looks like shit. And I'd be like, yeah, there's nothing I can do about that, but it's awesome. You get it early.
No, that was how it was meant to be seen. You don't understand.
Right.
No, I'm actually going to go the opposite direction here. I did not enjoy that one. I am a huge Friday the 13th fan. Out of all the slashers, that is the one I would pick. But this one, to me, it's not good.
You just hate Todd Farmer. Admit it.
No, actually, I love Todd Farmer.
No, you don't. Admit it.
I'm angry.
No, but the opening was great. That one was... The opening's good. But the rest of the film just feels like it was made for fucking Sci-Fi Channel. It did not have the
better
atmosphere.
Than Sci-Fi Channel, though.
No, fuck you, man.
No, fuck me. It's better than Sci-Fi.
It is better than Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi
it is better.
Sucks. Dude, have you seen... Look. Sci-Fi did a movie about a year ago called Mega Piranha. I only bought it because it was $5.
You fucking bought that?
And it was $5 on Blu-ray, and it had Mega Piranha. It had fishies, and I love the piranha, like the killer. They're awesome. That's
Mike, I know you love the fishies, but please stop supporting shit.
I can't.
I own Sharktopus for the same reason.
I was going to buy that. Damn it.
It's called Sharktopus. Sold.
Hey, if they put it on Blu-ray, it's good enough for me. So
there you go. But with Jason X, was that changing too much for you then? Is that what that was? Like, it broke too many rules?
No,
because I know some people would like it because it did break rules. It's trying other stuff, or is it just space?
No, it's not space. It's none of that. Because to me, that could be scary as shit. Putting Jason on a spaceship where you're completely isolated. It was just, I don't think they took it. They didn't go dark enough. Let's put it that way. Because the atmosphere, a lot of that just didn't come off. It came off as very cliche, very cheesy. They almost wanted you to laugh throughout it and like, oh, we're making a Jason movie. Eat some popcorn, drink some beer, and have a laugh.
Whoa.
That's probably part of it.
Wait. Not dark enough. They were, first of all, the spaceship was dark. Everything was dark.
I'm not talking about the look.
enough.
I'm talking about the tone. I'm talking about the tone.
Cyber Jason was the first problem, I thought.
How can you make a movie with Jason in space and make it dark? Please explain that to me, because...
Leave him as the normal zombie Jason. Don't make him Cyber Jason, because if he was normal Jason, it would be creepier, like Event Horizon.
But Scott, Cyber Jason, and you being an action fan should appreciate this, that he was more of an action hero in this movie.
Yeah.
True, but even still, he was the iconic one. It's like putting John McClane in body armor. I don't want to see that. I want to see John McClane run around barefoot with a tank top. That's what I'm looking for. Put him on space, okay, now he's doing it in a different area. If you're changing the environment, that's good. If you're changing the look, you're changing a bit more than I'm expecting now.
Now I want to see Die Hard in space. Damn it.
I realized that when I said it. But with Jason, if it was the same zombie-looking one, I know he's not a zombie, I heard the last one, but if it's the same zombie wandering one, okay, fair enough.
Fuck you, he doesn't eat people.
Jesus.
He's still undead. But if he's still wandering around like that, shambling, like he's out of Event Horizon for crying out loud, that would have worked. But he looks all cyber whatever and clean? No, that's not Jason. Who's that?
Yeah, but
they even did a comic, Jason
once-
versus Jason X. They did that.
Yeah, but once you take that mask off, he's not clean under that mask. It might look all shiny and polished and all that shit, but you take that off, and he's the same old Jason under there.
True, but I guess part of the problem with the visual aspect of it, it should have been the same look, just to keep it continuing. Because especially, this is a pet peeve, but when you start with something awesome and then twist it just after you establish that, oh, I want more of that. What are you doing? Why'd you do that? You made this awesome, now you're breaking it. Come on.
See, to me, it was more like they were taking Jason and putting him in, like, the fucking Stargate TV series or Andromeda or Star Trek or some shitty sci-fi series. It wasn't Friday the 13th. It was Jason goes to fucking Star Trek. It wasn't fucking scary. It wasn't fucking dark. It was none of that.
Live long and prosper.
Go fuck yourself.
See, they again treated him like the hero, though. You're right. They did it in the wrong way. Because they just set everybody up for him to kill. That really was almost made by people who were thinking, oh, it's Jason kills people X. They were the ones who made the damn thing, so there's part of the problem inherently. So
I don't think they really paid it. Like, I really don't think they really cared about that film. I think they just wanted to, put the next Friday the 13th movie out so it can, so they don't have to worry about losing fans while they develop Freddy vs. Jason.
Lose the rights.
I believe they had to put out a film to keep the rights. If I understood it correctly, they had to put out another Friday film to keep the rights to it.
Yeah, that went
pretty
from
much it.
That went from Paramount to New Line, if I remember correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that was Jason Goes to Hell, but they were stuck in a spot where they were trying to develop Freddy vs. Jason, and they needed to put out something to keep it fresh, keep it in fans' minds, and also keep the rights.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what they did was they just kind of took a shit and was like, here's Jason X.
They didn't take a shit. They did something fresh to keep the rights.
Exactly.
But here's the weird thing. If they want to keep Jason in the mind's eye, why'd they change him into the cyber one? They should have kept him the same one to keep that in the public eye.
Well, because I wanted to see, after Jason X was over, the way that it ended, I wanted to see a Jason X squared. But it never happened.
Jason X on 2.
Yeah, I think it was confusing to me.
See, now I'm thinking just have him come across the Space Nakatomi Plaza and he fights John McClane in space.
That would be so awesome.
See? There we go.
Okay, I would actually watch that.
It was the thing to do, but it was the thing to do with, like, these iconic horror, people, you see the Leprechaun, I think, went into space.
Yes.
Pinhead went into space,
Yes.
I think in
Only
part
good
4.
one to go to space, Pinhead.
Yeah, well, yeah, arguably.
Well, I didn't see that one, but it just looks horrible. So.
No,
But it
it's
was
actually
kind of the
really
thing to do, you know. It was very futuristic, you know. We saw the internet really coming into full force, in the late '90s, early 2000s, and so a lot of people were thinking about space and technology and all that kind of thing. So it was sort of inevitable. I mean, we've never seen Freddy in space. I don't think, have we?
No.
And Michael Myers has never, gone into the stratosphere or whatever. But, I think it was just sort of that sort of thinking that was the next logical place to put him. And I loved it. I mean, I don't care. Yeah, there's flaws and there's shit that makes no sense and it's sort of bad here and there, but I don't care. It's one of those movies, again, guilty pleasure. Yeah, it's bad, but I don't care. I enjoy it, It's it's fun to me. So what's that say for me?
Well, I can't really criticize you because my number one pick was House of the Dead. So
yeah, we all remember that. Let's. God.
But what would it be if it was Space House of the Dead? What then?
Oh my God, so much better.
It would have been better directed. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, as long as Uwe Boll wasn't there, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, he sucked.
Hey man, he's got to spend the gold somehow.
Yeah, well, he should find a better way to spend it. I think he'd be better. Oh my God, I don't even have a comparison for it, but he'd be better at
Mike,
something else.
you keep criticizing him, and he's going to challenge you to a boxing match and beat the fuck out of you.
Dude, I could make a
I think
movie.
Mike could take him personally.
Honestly, I could. With my cane, I would just beat the shit out of him, number one. And number two, I could direct him under the table. Seriously.
Oh, I'm not touching that.
Have we seen Camp Out Nightmare 6? I can direct him under the table. That's better than House of the Dead, John.
You know,
So to keep
for
you know
nobody
what?
that
I will give you that. I will give you that.
For people that don't understand what I'm talking about, look up Camp Out Nightmare 6 on YouTube. You'll see it. I do a better job than him. Okay. Continue.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it moving at that point. Avery, do you have another pick for us?
It seems like nobody liked Scream 4. And, when that came out in theaters, I went to see it numerous times because, I'm a big fan of the original trilogy. So there's, no reason to hate it at all. It had a great cast. The fact that I could relate to them being all teenagers in a modern world, obviously, and what's funny is not everyone is like the kids in the movies where they're all really smart about and they know everything about older movies because in my school I'm the only one who really pays attention to older horror movies and stuff. So when my friends are over, I'm like, hey, you want to go see Creature from the Black Lagoon or you want to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre? They have no idea what it is. So the fact that they're all teenagers and they know a lot about the old horror movies. That one thing about it was fascinating, but also the fact that they had Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell and David Arquette back. It was a great cast, and I enjoyed it.
But Avery, were you pissed that none of the original cast, like Neve, David Arquette, or Courtney Cox, did you want one of them to die? Because I did for some reason.
Well, I can't explain it. I really enjoy Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell. I think they look the best in this movie.
Right.
So every time they're running around, I would be thinking, "Don't die, don't die," and my dad would be sitting in the theater right beside me, and he'd just be like, "Oh my God, don't die!" So him and I both share that, enthusiasm for wanting to see them alive. But I kind of felt like they should have killed off Dewey.
Oh, believe me. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, hey, they killed Randy off, and I'll still never forgive him for that. But see, I didn't want Neve Campbell to die in Scream 3, and I know that she got shot. And, I thought that she was dead there for a second. I kind of broke down and got a little upset over that, but she survived. So
She and Courtney Cox just looked amazing in this movie. Besides those two, I really enjoyed Hayden Panettiere.
Yeah.
I really think if you watch the commentary, it's kind of like they're kind of hinting that she's still alive. And if Scream 5 ever happens, I wouldn't be against that. If they don't make her bad. If they make her bad, then it would suck.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I really liked 4 because it's part of that perfect storm of all the stuff coming back. Rocky comes back, Rambo comes back, the old franchise comes back. There's a new set of rules you can play with. But I got to be honest, I would have liked it a lot better if Emma Roberts' character got away with it. That would have been a twist ending.
See, I agree 100%. I'm glad Avery picked this. I loved the hell out of the movie. I thought it was really good. I don't understand the hate. But towards the end, I just really wanted her to get away with it, honestly.
But you only found out after she got away with it. It would have been smarter if you find out afterwards. Like, oh God, at the end. What? It would have been just, God.
She could still be alive. She's the only one they didn't shoot in the head, I don't think. So that's the odd thing about it. In the whole series, she's the only one they ever shot in the head. And, the fact, and also another thing that's great about Scream 4 is, in Scream 1 and all the other ones, you knew who it was. At least I did. Whereas in this one, I had no idea it was going to be Emma Roberts. So that was really awesome. I actually expected it to be the cop because she just seemed like she wanted Dewey a lot. So it seemed like the direction they would go in, but instead it turned out to be Emma Roberts.
Yeah, I was kind of lost. I did not see that coming, and honestly, I just really wanted her to get away with it, just because you never see that, and I thought that would have been an excellent setup for a Part 5.
Yeah, definitely. But one problem a lot of people had, and I've read this numerous times on the internet, is when one of the cops, I forget his character's name, was stabbed in the head, and he managed to walk outside the car, and then he said, "Fuck Bruce Willis."
Yeah.
That really made a lot of people mad for I don't know what reason, but it did.
Anthony Anderson, I think, did that, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that's who it was. Before Guys with Kids, and that, it's going to probably be a failed series, unfortunately.
Corey, do you have anything on this one?
I don't think I've seen it. I know I love the first 2, and I'm trying to think. Well,
Not
of course,
three,
yeah,
Corey?
thank you. But I just don't remember how far I got into the series because I know I'm not current. But I've loved what I've seen so far. I love Wes Craven. He's hit or miss a lot of times, but I think with Scream, I got what he was going for and I dug it. But I don't know that I made it. I'm trying to think, man. It's been so long. The 90s are such a blur, and
Amen.
But no, I appreciate what he was doing with the Scream films, and I just wish I had seen everything, and especially the latest. I don't know. I have to pick and choose what I see nowadays. Being a married guy with kids and stuff. So it's it is what it is. But,
I don't see why they don't work on Scream 5 already. They said they had an idea to go up to a Part 6, and that really got a lot of older fans back. But I guess Kevin Williamson is kind of a dick about it now and rather work on Vampire Diaries than come back and do another Scream movie. So that's something that really makes me mad.
Yeah, I think the whole Kevin Williamson thing was the Weinsteins, like they're notorious for doing, kind of stir the pot a little too much. And they basically rewrote his whole script for 4, or the majority of it. And I think that kind of rubbed him the wrong way. And it's like, they did it with Scream 3, and they brought on somebody else to rewrite that. And they kind of did it with this one. So even though his name's on it, I think less than a quarter of the script is actually his. So that's probably why.
Yeah, I think Craven was saying something about that, yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was he's not being a dick. He's just kind of tired of being screwed over by the company because his last 2 Scream films have been drastically changed, and I don't think he wants to go through that again. He set up this one to start a new trilogy, and they kind of turned it into Scream Reunion, which I'm not complaining because I really enjoyed it, but I think they kind of screwed him a little bit too much on this.
Yeah, I tried to get Kevin Williamson for an interview for the other show, and I know that his publicist was because I tried to play up, because it was right before Scream 4 was going to hit theaters, and I tried to play up with his publicist, we want to get him on to push this movie and all that stuff. And she gets back to me and she's like, he really doesn't want to talk about it. So I'm like, okay, I guess
Ooh,
he's just pissed off and doesn't want to talk about it.
that's not good.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's a good movie for what it's worth, but it just makes me interested now in wondering what he would have done with it, because I know recently at Horbid there's a conversation and with him, somebody interviewed him, and he talked about what his initial plan was for Scream 3. And reading that, I just didn't like the idea. So although 3 is kind of not my favorite in the Scream movie series, I still think it'd be better than I think it was better than what his initial idea was.
Yeah. Okay. I agree because I did read that too. All right, Mike, it's back to you. Do you have another choice for us?
I do, and this is another late 80s. Well, this is late 80s film. I'm not sure if any of you have actually seen it, but it's one that I didn't see until like just a few years ago. It's called The Curse from 1987. And I get crickets. Crickets.
It's ringing a bell, but
I've seen
I've
that.
never seen it. No.
It's let's see. John Schneider from Dukes of Hazzard was in it. He plays like this health or environmental type guy, and Will Wheaton from Stand By Me, and it's about like these people on a farm, and this meteor comes and crashes into their like a well or something, and it infects their well water with this stuff, so it's like whoever drinks from it like turns into this like nasty fucking this like creature and shit. It's a weird movie. They made 4 of them, but each of them is kind of like a standalone story, so
I can't say I've even really heard of it. I mean, your description sounds more like the Stephen King segment of Creepshow, but
yeah, well,
That's exactly what I was thinking of when he said that. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It opens with it kind of opens with, I guess, like the after effects where the John Schneider character is being carried out of a house like after a police standoff, and he's like, "It's in the water, it's in the water, it's in the water," and shit like that.
That sounds familiar. I've sworn I've seen that before.
Yeah, it was 1987. It's definitely one of those that if you can track it down. And I know it's not on Netflix Instant, but I do know that they have if you have the plan where you can get DVDs, they do have the DVDs of at least the first 2.
Yeah, I'm looking that up. They've got the 2 as like a combo pack.
Yeah.
They also have it listed. It's similar to a Lovecraft story, Color of Out of Space. So there's some pedigree on that. If that's what they're inspired by. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
So would you describe that as Lovecraftian at all?
It definitely is, yeah.
Interesting. I love Lovecraft.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, Mike, you picked one obscure enough that nobody can really comment on it.
Obviously, yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go next,
Yeah,
and
of course.
I'm gonna go on a tiny bit of a tangent here to kind of also touch upon my first experience with this, but this one you guys really don't need to comment on because I really hope we all like it. But my first experience with really understanding that people didn't like the same movies as me was The Evil Dead, because I seeked this out after seeing it on an old website. I don't think it's up anymore, and reading about it, how terrible it was, how it was banned, and everything else. I finally found it, and I watched it, and it actually kind of traumatized me, and I fell in love with it then. And I remember probably about a year later, a friend of mine in school wanted a really scary movie for a date, so the girl would cuddle up to him and all of that. And I gave him The Evil Dead, and it was probably about 2 days later, he gave it back to me, and he's just like, dude, what the fuck is this? This is funny as hell, and it's so bad. And I just remember kind of staring at him, and I was just like, what are you talking about? This movie is probably the scariest fucking movie I've ever seen. And to me, that was honestly the first time that I realized people maybe don't view things the same as me, and it blew me away, because honestly, even to this day, The Evil Dead is my favorite film, and it has become a tradition during Halloween. Every Halloween, I will watch it. And it was honestly the first date I've been on with my long-standing girlfriend now. We continue it every Halloween. I love this movie. But my next pick actually ties into it, and that's why I wanted to go off slightly on that rant and just honestly explain that. My name is Bruce. Now, a lot of people may not whore, but I
doesn't matter.
Love My Name is Bruce.
Well, we talked about this before, John, off air, and you know that I'm a Bruce Campbell fan as well. Probably not as big as you because I don't have the rocker, but
Dude.
But that movie to me was just too much of a Bruce parody. I think it was too much of him kind of making fun of himself that I couldn't get into it.
Man, Bruce Campbell making fun of Bruce Campbell, you can never, ever get enough Bruce Campbell.
Dude, he did better in Bubba Hotep.
Bubba Hotep is a good film, but this one has so many inside jokes, and just the fact that he's playing a parody of himself that's a complete and utter douchebag that literally feeds his dog whiskey and then runs out of whiskey himself and scares the dog away to drink the whiskey from the dog bowl. Awesome. I just love the parody of himself. I love the concept. I just, honestly, I can't watch that movie without laughing and quoting one-liners.
Well,
crickets. Okay, I guess I'm alone on that.
No, I'm with you on that one, but I'm also agreeing with the fact that the parody was a bit too much. That goes almost back to the thing. You want to see Bruce Campbell being awesome doing stuff. You're not really getting that. You're getting a coward. That's funny, but it's not what you were truly hoping for going in. But if you know that it's going to be Bruce Campbell as Bruce Campbell playing Bruce Campbell, okay, that's fine.
But then again, when you think about his evolution of Ash through the Evil Dead trilogy, he started off as a coward, and that was the big turn, is he was a coward. He wasn't a hero until he finally was forced to become one, and I think that kind of harkens back to it with this film.
Right, well then, are we led
Bubba
to
Hotep's a good link, though.
Right, well, but are we led to believe, then, that Bruce Campbell is a coward in real life if he, is supposedly playing himself? Are we, led to believe that he is that type of person? Or, the type of person that he is in that movie?
I think in that movie he is, and honestly, I've mentioned it before on the last show, The Belly Rocker. Honestly, I've really contemplated about getting a tagline from the teaser poster from My Name is Bruce, and under my belly rocker that said "Run away?" ? I mean, to me, it'd just be the nice little polishing touch to my nerd tattoo to just make it even funnier.
He very much comes off as a hero like Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China. He looks like the hero. He's really not, but he is. But he's not. It's very much that kind. So,
Bruce Campbell is like, I feel like he's the best B actor there is. But when it comes to Evil Dead, I'm a big fan. But I just don't see it scary. It has all the campiness of, Tales of the Crypt or the Hitchhiker TV shows. So it's a really enjoyable movie. It's just, I never thought it was scary.
Well, when it comes to the Evil Dead, and I talked to Mike about this before, you really have to suspend your disbelief and just allow yourself to get sucked into the film. I mean, because their budget was so low and they were so limited. If you allow yourself to just kind of get past a lot of the cheesy effects and kind of allow yourself to get sucked into it and put into that situation, that is fucking scary. A lot of people struggle with that, though.
That one works for me. It's the same kind of argument. Some of the old silent movies, even. There's that unnatural movement to it because they didn't make it right with sound sync and such. Look at Nosferatu, even, for crying out loud. That's from 1920s, and it works now because they shouldn't be that good at that then, so there's an unnaturalness to it that you can just accept because it's wrong. So when you think about a movie made on credit cards from dentists' investments in the middle of Michigan, how is that working for this crazy, awesome horror? It is, because they had to find a way to do it with freaking Play-Doh and stuff. Like, it works really well. So I always thought Evil Dead was scary as hell. It works for me, definitely.
I love movies that are, to me, the movies where they're done on a low budget are more better than movies that are CGI filmed and stuff. So I'd rather watch movies that came out in, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 90s, rather than watching a lot of what comes out today. It's kind of like how next year there's supposed to be a Godzilla movie. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to make Godzilla CGI, like they made Yoda CGI. And I just don't think it's going to be all that well done like the original Godzilla, where although you could tell it's fake, it's still more effective than a CGI monster running around.
Okay, and just to make a correction, the majority of this film was actually filmed in Tennessee. But
excuse me, yes, that's right.
Sorry, I'm that big of an Evil Dead fan.
No, that's right. Hey, I'll correct myself. I said Neil Jordan did Dog Soldiers. It was Neil Marshall. Neil Jordan did Crying Game. That's somewhat different.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah, though that will be some scary werewolves, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Corey, you didn't weigh in on this at all. If you haven't seen this, let me know after the show segment's over, and I will buy you the DVD, Blu-ray, whatever you want.
For what?
Oh my God, I've seen Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. I love the first two. I love Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. They're completely different, and I know all the arguments back and forth between the two, but I can still appreciate them. I'm a little weirded out by this sort of cult of Bruce Campbell. I like the guy. I really do. I think he did a great job in the first two, and yeah, I like him in Army of Darkness, although I'm going to say it, I just don't like Army of Darkness. I think it's
Oh,
I
God.
think it's retarded. I mean,
John's going to die.
That one is my favorite of the three, so.
Oh, damn it. See, I didn't want to say it, but I had to say it. I had to put it out there. And I haven't seen My Name is Bruce, although people have told me I need to see it.
Don't
I
see
haven't
it,
seen
Corey.
Bubba Hotep. Actually,
Definitely see that
a
one.
ton of people. Yeah,
Yeah, Bubba
actually,
Hotep, definitely.
I'm
Yeah,
buying you
and,
one of those because that's what I was actually referring to.
Buy him
And-
Bubba Hotep, John. Do not waste your money on another copy of My Name is Bruce.
Oh, fuck
Corey,
you! I bought that when
Corey,
it came
you know
out.
what? I'll send you my DVD of My Name is Bruce so I can get rid of it.
Oh,
Bubba Hotep's in the $5 bins up here. Grab it, definitely.
but I mean, do you
It's
understand
not
that I'm
even
sort
in the
of weirded out?
$5 bins anymore where I live.
I mean, there's such this weird, overwhelming sort of cult of Bruce Campbell going on, and I don't understand it. Yeah, I mean, he's very likable. I mean, yeah, he's sort of this coward that ends up as this badass with this goddamn chainsaw. Yeah, sure, I get it. But, I mean, people seem to really obsess about this guy, and really, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I enjoy a lot of the films. Like I said, I love Evil Dead 1 and 2. Love them. And, but just, and Bruce Campbell, I mean, I've seen a lot of his interviews and spoken word things on YouTube, and I really respect him, as a person and as an actor, because I know he does make fun of himself, and he knows the kind of person that he is, and he knows the kind of roles that he does. And I really like him because of that. He's really not taking any of this seriously at all. He's very fun. But as a movie watcher, man, I don't like the majority of his stuff, I guess, of what I've seen, except first couple Evil Deads. And, I guess I loved his, what the hell was that? Old Spice. See on Old Spice? That commercial?
Yes.
That was great. Yeah.
He's got two of them, actually.
Yeah. So, any of his more modern things, I think I've seen him in one or two, like, B movies, like really, really B movies, obscure things. But, I don't know. I like him, but I don't worship the guy. I don't think everything he does is, like, holy.
Okay.
And I
If
see
you get
so
a
much of
DVD
that in the
sent to-
horror community.
If you get a DVD sent to you, check it over for symbols just to be safe.
Do you?
Well, no.
I will.
You know what's weird? You might, John, you might appreciate this. When Ace Ventura first came out in '94, before I knew who Jim Carrey was, because I didn't remember him from In Living Color, I thought that Bruce Campbell was Ace Ventura.
Oh my!
Brown hair, brown eyes. It's got to be Bruce Campbell. Yeah.
We're going to talk about this later. But Corey, for your whole aspect of people that worship him, I can honestly go off from this because I own terrible, terrible movies he's been in, like Alien Apocalypse, Man with the Screaming Brain.
So do I.
I have a gigantic tattoo of him. And I can honestly say what it is about him, at least for myself, I'm not speaking for anybody else, is he's very, very inspirational to me. And when I was at a really low point in my life, I kind of clung on to Bruce Campbell, and I read his autobiography. I've probably read it 4 times now. I've read his other book, which is honestly just funny. And there's just so many different little things that inspire me, and that's why I like Bruce Campbell. That's why I cling to him. That's why I follow him. It's just so much of his stuff. He's about the fans. He embraces his fans. He helps them out. And the fact that he knows where he's from, he's inspirational to me, and that is why I have a tattoo. That's why when I finally meet the man, I'm going to get him to sign me, and that is going to be tattooed on me.
John, if he doesn't come on this show for the Evil Dead retrospective, like around the time of the remake, then in my mind, he's not about the fans.
I literally slapped my glass down for that one. He's a busy fucking man, all right? If you can't
listen to me, it doesn't matter. All I'm asking is for 5 minutes on the phone. You can't be that busy for 5 minutes. I'm sorry, but you can't.
He's Bruce fucking Campbell.
Dude, I got Danny Trejo for 15 minutes on the phone. You think Danny Trejo is any less busy than Bruce Campbell?
Yeah, it's fucking Danny Trejo.
Exactly. And it's Bruce Campbell, so he can do 5 minutes.
Bruce Campbell is a very busy man. He is important. He has so much shit to do that he might not have time for our shitty little show.
All right, well, you just keep telling yourself that. Moving on.
John,
this is a show about the fans.
John. No, let me respond to that because I totally respect that. And so much of everything that we're talking about tonight in this segment is very, very subjective. You know, we're looking at generally movies that people generally think suck that we really, really enjoy. So of course, I mean, we're going by so many different experiences and so much. So please don't take my sort of weirdness towards Bruce Campbell and everything as anything negative towards you, because I totally respect that. And I know that whenever you are going through things at a period of time in your life and you see things and you really identify with people and you really dig that kind of thing and get into it, believe me, I know that is totally valid. It is something that really it takes a special kind of person to identify with and really know about as well. And me, I don't know. That's my experience with Bruce Campbell and what I've seen of him, and what you have told me, man, is so cool and is I don't know. That's great, man. And I hope you don't think I'm trying to bring you down, man, from what you think of the man and everything, because that's just where I'm coming from. So
no, I totally understand.
Yeah.
And I get that everybody has a different perspective, and to me, I was already a fan of his work from The Evil Dead, and then I was at a low point, and I started reading his autobiography, and I just kind of clung on to him. So it's just kind of like you're the normal perspective, and I'm the hardcore Bruce Campbell fan that, for whatever reason or another, has clung on to him and his work and his personality, and we get the two perspectives here, and I completely appreciate that. So I don't think that you're putting me down or my outlook or anything like that.
I'm sorry I said the call to Bruce Campbell, because I'm kind of a bastard for saying that. And,
no, fuck no. I love that. I would totally wear a robe and have like the chin on the back of it. So.
Yeah, well, I like the Fall of Sam X. Is anybody here like that?
Dude, that's a cheesy as hell B action movie, and you're fucking right. I like it.
Okay, I feel better about it now.
All right, but let's keep this going a little bit. Midnight Corey, you got another pick for us?
Oh wow, well, yeah, I got a lot. Man, let's see. Wow. Well, Scott, man, maybe I'm going to play more towards you.
Right.
And you're more of an action guy, and this sort of plays into the horror thing because there's a lot of violence in this series. And again, I'm going to be going to be sort of a bastard when it comes to what I'm talking about, because I'm sort of going to combine a lot of movies into one. But I have to say, I am a big fan, unashamedly, of all 4 Rambo movies, 1 through 4.
Yes.
Starting back in the early 80s and then, going towards, the most recent one that we've seen. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are very, very different, and a lot of haters out there for anything other than the first Rambo movie. But, man, I just did a show not long ago and a podcast somewhere about all 4 Rambo movies, and it just sort of brought me back to this love of, man, Rambo does not give a shit. He's going to kill anybody and anything in his way, and he is a total badass, no matter how old he gets. Even here in the 2000s, he's pretty old. He's looking rough, but he's still going to kick your ass.
When you're pushed, killing's as easy as breathing.
Yeah.
That sums it up.
Yeah. But all 4 of the movies are just so enjoyable to me, and I love them. So I had to. I mean, it's kind of horror. I mean, there's a lot of gore, a lot of violence,
especially the last one.
Yeah.
The last one is Act 3, Rambo with a machine gun. It's awesome. It's ridiculous. Like, when he takes down that truck and the trees that are between him and the truck to kill all the guys, and their heads are exploding like melons. And then, it's even when he uppercuts a guy and his head comes off. Like, that happened in Jason Takes Manhattan, if I remember correct, as well. Yep. That's the connection kind of pedigree Rambo's pulling here. And they both had machetes, so all right. But like he made that knife because he got rid of the one. I think it's a deleted scene. He got rid of his old knife, and then he made this thing out of a piece of a boat or some shank, and it's like a short sword, for Christ's sake. And he kills everybody with it because it's a weird message in the last one too, because.
No.
They're really trying to go in there and like peace is an option, and the message from the movie is no, it isn't. Violence is the way to solve things sometimes. Because that one guy who was holding out, he beat a man's head in with a rock to save them because he had to. There was no peaceful option. He had to crush a man's skull with the rock. That's all right, Stallone. Thank you very much for that. That's okay.
Exactly.
If you go back to the old ones. That's almost the message people think they have, even though the first one's really this messed up, like
it's
torture.
Very different. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Thank
dark.
you, Rambo. We have learned the error of our ways.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And the third one has him with the Taliban, if I remember correctly. That doesn't play the same anymore.
Oh yeah.
But Bond had that with Living Daylights, so those are weird times.
Oh yeah. But I don't know. That whole series, man. I can watch over and over again. All 4 movies, and I love them. So, and again, I haven't strayed too much from the horror thing because they are so. I mean, they don't hold back from any of the head explosions. Scott, like you were saying, man, and just the violence. Whenever Rambo is ripping through like an entire platoon of invaders, I mean, they show it all.
At the end of that, when he's on the 50 cal, oh my God.
If you flip the perspective of the movie and you're following these soldiers who are being dispatched because all their friends are being killed by this crazy man in the woods, Rambo's a horror character. He's the slasher. We're just following him because he's American. Flip that, and he really is. He's coming out of the mud because you can't see him. How many horror slashers came out of the shadows doing the same damn thing to surprise a guy and kill him outright?
Wow.
It's the flip. It really is. So it's a good connection, I think.
No, yeah, totally. Absolutely.
Well, actually, Jason did do that in Friday the 13th Part 6. I hate to go back to that again, but there was that scene when the cop was out, like, looking around, and the little girl comes out. She's like, oh, no, there's a scary man. Oh, what scary man? And then he just comes right out and, squeezes his skull when the brain matter goes all over the place.
No, but I totally agree. You're right. That is a great outlook. I'd never really considered it like that. So, wow, thank you.
Yeah, good call, man.
That's the action perspective on horror. That's why I love Jason and Jason X. There you go.
Yeah.
He's Space Rambo.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Now I want to see that.
Yeah.
All right.
Man.
Scott, do you have another pick for us?
Space Rambo. No,
Watch it.
it's kind of funny because you're skewing with the action on that, and I'm kind of thinking of one that actually just came out. I don't know if you guys saw that Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters.
I have not seen it yet.
No.
What's your opinions on that? When you see that, what do you think when you see that? The ads for that.
I saw the trailer. I went to see Paranormal Activity 4, I think, and I saw the trailer for that, and I was really digging it. I loved the look of the witches and how they were given sort of this, very supernatural, sort of treatment. And, of course, I love, old fairy tales, given the new, sort of outlook on modern times and seeing that it's almost playing on, of course, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Killer. I think it's playing on that. But I liked the look of the trailer. It looked really great, but I have not seen the film, and I've not heard great things about it since.
I will say it is a hard R. There's a lot of CGI in this one, but, I mean, you've got witches flying around. Fair enough. There's a neat little aspect of them when you first see them. They kind of growl, and it sounds like the Predator click. It's kind of a weird thing to notice, but... It's really, really crazy action. I mean, some of the first dialogue lines are, "You better step away from her or I'll shoot your brains out all over these fucking hillbillies." That's the introduction to Gretel for one. So, yeah, They don't hold back. Did you see Dead Snow?
Yes.
Of course, yeah. Oh.
Tommy Wirkola, I believe it is pronounced, I probably said it wrong, he wrote and directed this. This is his follow-up. And it's great 3D. That's a whole other argument, I'm sure. But it's actually really fun 3D. Shit flies everywhere. They're exploding, and there's bullets everywhere. I'll throw back to another guilty pleasure, actually. Van Helsing. This is the dark R-rated version of that movie that we should have got back then. This just goes all out crazy with it. They're really two modern action heroes, Hansel and Gretel, put back into this, and they don't have time for any of their shit. It's awesome, and it's a lot of fun.
See, you say that, and from the trailer, that's exactly what I got was Van Helsing continued, but with Hansel and Gretel. And honestly, I didn't enjoy that movie a whole lot. I criticized friends that bought it, so I just didn't even bother to see it yet.
See, Van Helsing is it's probably an hour too long. And there's entirely too much swinging on ropes and or chains and or whatever else there is that happens to be there. But the idea is sound. It just wasn't executed well, which is a shame because Summers did
totally
The Mummy, and he can pull stuff off. I think that was studios wanting to get everything in. They were going too big on it. They didn't rein him in enough. With Hansel and Gretel, though, I don't want to you haven't seen it, so I don't want to do any kind of spoilers or anything, but the fact that it starts off, and it's the candy house, right? So they're in the candy house, and Hansel is imprisoned. He's put aside in this little cage, and Gretel's chained up, having to work the oven. And the witch is feeding him candy constantly to fatten him up. Then they get out, and they get out there. We have the opening credits, whatever. We come in, we see Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye, right? This is medieval Hawkeye now.
Yeah.
And thanks to being part of the Bourne Project and whatever else you can put in, Mission Impossible, he's going through, and they're talking with the mayor about trying to find the witches and how it's done and everything. And at some point, his watch goes off, and it clicks, and he wanders off, and his sister's like, whatever. And the mayor's looking at him like, what the hell is he doing? And he's pulling something out of his pouch, and he stabs himself in the leg, and he injects himself, and he comes back. That happens a couple times before they explain it. He's diabetic from the candy. They went there.
That's awesome.
He's diabetic in the Middle Ages. And they're like, oh, you've got the weird sickness. It's like, I just get really weak. Of course, they set that up, and it plays out later. It's an action movie. But there's some crazy great effects. Heads exploding. Well, we can go back to that, too. But they really hold nothing back. I mean, it's the guy who made Dead Snow with a budget in America. Yeah, it's awesome. And thank God it's actually doing well at the box office. Because normally these kind of movies don't. This thing's already close to 50 million. Like, the people are actually seeing it. I guess thanks to Renner. Because this was supposed to come out last March, and they delayed it after Bourne and Avengers. So now suddenly he's A-list, and everyone's going to see it. It's great. So that one's an easy recommendation, and it's still in theaters, so you could probably hit it still. It's crazy.
I
In a good
may
way.
actually check that out.
Yeah.
I wish you could comment, but no one's seen it. So
Yeah, exactly.
But again, if you see the trailers thinking, oh, I hope it's going to be like that, I felt that it was. I mean, the music is crazy. It gets a little Sherlock Holmesy at one point, the music. It's got that kind of did-in, did-in, did-in. It's a little weird, but overall, it's just, like I said, it holds nothing back. That's kind of the key there. They could have easily made it PG-13, and it would have taken a lot away from it, but making it a hard R, not just with the violence, but the language too, like, they come across different things, and again, Hansel's, he's like, don't eat the fucking candy, and stuff like that. Just, it flows. It's just natural. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'm going to start talking about specifics, and I don't want to do that if you're thinking about seeing it, so I'll leave it off there. So
that's good to hear, Scott, because I was very optimistic, like I said, about the trailer. I saw it and I loved it. And I couldn't wait to see it, and, you know, you're like, well, the trailer, you know, if you like the trailer, you're probably going to like the film, so...
Yeah, I heard about it, and I was like, that sounds awesome. I hope to get a trailer soon. Then when I saw it, I think I just lost my mind, because it was the R-rated trailer. I'm like, oh, God, they're really going to do this. They're going all the way. Holy shit. Awesome.
Yeah. So, I'm going to give it a shot, man. So.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out as well, actually, because you're saying it's this good, it's better than Van Helsing, which I thought it was going to pretty much copy.
Easily.
So, yeah, I'll actually give it a shot.
I'll come back and you can rake me over coals if I'm wrong. That's only fair.
Deal.
I'm going to hold you to that, man. Yeah.
Saw 3D, or Saw 7, or Saw the Final Chapter, whatever name they want to call it now. It's had like several names. But no, I enjoyed the film. It is the first Saw film I seen in theaters was Part 4. But obviously the last Saw film I've seen in theaters is Saw 7 because they haven't made any more yet. But it's just the way it was written, the way it was executed, and the score, and just everything about it. Like when it came out, I could not stop telling everyone about it and telling them to go see it. It's just every aspect of that movie I love it.
I like it. My one problem is, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, but the Dr. Gordon, and I'm sorry, I don't want to spoil it for anybody that's seen it, but I'm sure anybody that's going to see it has probably seen it already. I thought that his character was another character that was kind of underused in that movie. I think he should have had more of a role. I don't think that he was used enough.
That's another reason I'm hoping for, like, you know, a Part 8, because especially after seeing Insidious, where like they had that where they had that hidden message in the background on the chalkboard, but because they can use his character more, and the fact that the ending left 2 or 3, I think 2 people, you know, it left you wondering who they were, and I have my theories of who they are and what the storyline could be, but you never know what it's going to be until it's written. So.
I mean, it's just tough for me to believe that, like, he was, you know, in on the thing. It's just, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of tough for me to swallow that, but I guess on some level I could see it.
See, I didn't know.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say quickly, I haven't seen the Saw movies, none of them, but I know all about them. And my friend who does that Triskaideka Files, he reviewed the last one and said, God damn it, they're finally saying they're going to stop making these annually, but they left on the one that needs a sequel the most. Mm-hmm. So that sums it right there. It's like, and they still haven't done it because partially Paranormal Activity started kicking its ass. But
yeah, but that's gonna stop soon.
Yeah, it is.
Well, they're doing 5. They're doing 5, and they're making a Spanish spin-off.
Oh. Yeah, I heard about that.
A canonical one. It's actually like parallel to it. So, okay.
Well, Avery, to go off from what you said, I actually enjoyed this one, and to counter what Mike said, I think that Dr. Gordon was used just enough to leave that mystery, and I appreciated
We
that.
didn't need a mystery. We knew it was going to be the last one. That's why it was called the final chapter. So we
No,
didn't
fuck
need
you.
a mystery.
I love the fact that it leaves you hanging.
Oh, well.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right there, Avery. But still, I mean, we had to figure that the sixth one didn't make a lot of money, so we knew that this one wasn't going to spawn another one. They should have just wrapped it up nice and neat.
Well, I know the death of Jill like really upset me because I just really loved her character, and I just feel like they should definitely make a Saw 8, and a lot of my friends are waiting for it. And I know that Paranormal Activity, when the first one came out, beat Saw 6 in the box office, but the fact that Saw 7 was, in every review I read, held up as the best in the series, or one of the best, I just don't understand why they haven't made a Part 8 yet, considering the idea was, if it did good, they're going to make a Part 8. If it didn't do good, they're going to wait a few years, and they're going to remake the series. But honestly, I don't see them remaking it anytime soon, so a sequel seems to be the more logical choice.
If they remake it, that's the dumbest thing they could do. I'm sorry, but it is. It's too soon.
No, I totally agree.
See, and that's another question that you raised. Like, when is enough, like, logical time to pass for a movie to be remade? If you want to, like, get into that for just a second, I mean...
No, I really don't, because that's a whole new segment, Mike. What the fuck are you bringing up?
That's a dangerous one. I'll argue all day long on Amazing Spider-Man on that one. Oh.
See, I thought 10 years was not enough, but I watched Amazing Spider-Man.
That's not 10 years. That's 4 from 2007 on that one. That's only 4 years.
I was just talking from the original to that one.
Well, I will argue that one actually is better than the Raimi one. Those Raimi movies don't hold up, and I love Raimi, but it's painful. No, the Spider-Man movies, they're painful to me now.
To me, they're
even though the original Spider-Man series that Raimi did had, like, I think a Bruce Campbell cameo in all of them.
He was in all 3.
Every single one. Yeah. And in fact,
different
is the
part
one
every
that
time,
named
too.
him. He's the one that defeated him in Part 2, and Part 3, he was the first one to team up with him. Sorry, Bruce Campbell nerd.
Oh, that's fair. But they did not need to remake that one already, and yet it was better, so, okay, maybe they can remake it. They're already talking Twilight remake, starting over on that, for God's sake.
That's ridiculous.
So, how soon is too soon? Total Recall's too soon, and that was 1990. So, it's a weird argument on that, because you can still pull it off. Yeah, but you want to have recognition to do it. That's the point of using the name, and yet it just happened. You're going to get that comparison you don't want. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Total Recall was 22 years. I mean, I think personally that you got to wait at least 30. I mean, I don't see.
What?
Well, I don't
wait
see,
a generation.
Yeah, I don't see the Amazing Spider-Man as a remake, so to speak, only because it's. I mean, I guess it's remaking Spider-Man, but it's not remaking the storyline from the Sam Raimi movies because it's kind of a different storyline.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's the same argument like Batman Begins was 05 compared to Batman from 89. Okay. Right. But depending, I mean, they remade Punisher 3 times in 8 years. That was starting over. Yeah. That wasn't really a remake, but yet it is. They're remaking the movie. So
yeah, no, I totally agree there. And look what you started, Mike.
Of course.
Well, they're remaking Fantastic Four also.
They're making what? Remaking what?
They're remaking or trying to remake Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, they're trying hard on that, but they're failing hard too.
Yeah, I imagine.
We kind of went all over the map tonight.
Yeah, we did. I
ran with it. Sorry.
No, it's fine. We've actually went for quite a bit, so I'm gonna call it quits here. I know I have more on my list. I guarantee Corey does. I know Mike does, and
maybe
I bet
we'll do a part 2 of this at some point.
I'm actually really hoping we can get these guys back and do a part 2.
Gladly.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We should do that. Maybe like in another month or so. We can get you guys together. We'll do a Bad Movie My Ass Part 2.
Yes.
Sure.
I would absolutely love that. I love this conversation.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Gladly.
All right, we've ate up a lot of time, so I'd love to thank Scott for coming on, Avery and Cody. Thank you guys very, very much for coming on.
Our
It's a
pleasure,
pleasure.
guys.
Definitely a pleasure. I'm celebrating the first anniversary this month of my site anyway, so hey, it's all good. This is what I do. I'll leave it with, you should never feel guilty about it if it's a movie you love. That's my closing line, and that's how I look at it. If they don't like it, whatever. I do. And there you go.
Totally agree. Couldn't have said it better.
Definitely.
All right, thank you very much, guys. And this segment's ran really long, so we're going to close it out. Thank everybody for coming on. I myself would like to thank Vince for taking care of us so much at the Devil's Eyes. All our listeners, all our fans. Mike, who do you got?
Well, fans and listeners are the same thing, sir, but okay. Sorry, I just had to throw that distinction in there because I'm a smartass. But
Yes, you are, and I'm 3 classes into it, so fuck you.
Of course. I don't know. I just want to thank everybody. I mean, this was going to be a segment, but now I think it's going to be a standalone show. So that's really about all there is.
And honestly, I would love to thank Scott and Corey, who have distinctions on their own, for coming on and honestly honoring us, a new startup show.
Plug their podcast, sir.
Well, the
If you can remember the names, okay.
The Electric Chair is an amazing podcast where you have fantastic reviews, and honestly, Corey will go on about movies and make you want to watch them, even though you got 20 minutes into them and thought they were a piece of shit like I did. He will review them to the point. He will review them to the point where you'll listen to him and be like, fuck, I'm going to watch that movie again.
Damn. John, thanks, man.
Honestly, I told Mike that. I listened to one of your shows, and that happened. You reviewed a movie. You had, I believe, the director on. You talked about it, and you were so into it. You were talking about it in so much detail that, honestly, I'd watched that movie for 20 minutes. I was like, man, this sucks, and I shut it off. Having heard that segment, that's on my list to watch. I'm going to watch that movie again just because you reviewed it.
I hope I don't disappoint, man, because that's a lot of pressure.
Well, I have faith, and honestly, you are one of my absolute favorite podcasters right now.
Wow. Damn. Thanks. Man. I just, I love, talking with people, especially, in the horror genre, people that are directing movies, they're making shit, they're writing, musicians, anybody that is just putting out horror music or horror films, anything in the horror genre. I'm just such a fan, and I love talking to them and seeing what makes them tick. And people like listening to my insanity during those interviews. That's great, and I appreciate that. And I certainly do. I drink a bit, during all podcasting, because isn't that what it's all about? I mean,
exactly.
You just do it. And tonight, I know you were rocking the SoCo and
exactly.
Cokes or something. I was actually I had a lot of the Southern Tier double IPAs. I'm a craft beer kind of guy, and those double IPAs did me well tonight. And I thank you for having me on, man. It was just an honor because I love what you have right here on the show, and I'm going to continue listening, and hopefully we'll do this again. Hopefully, there will be a part 2 because, hell, for as many movies as I have on my list, we're going to need like part 25.
Oh, we'll keep this going as long as it's definitely.
Yeah, damn.
In space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And
damn, don't make me get creative.
yeah, honestly, I'm honored to have you on, Corey. And, man, honestly, I would come on your show. I would do anything because I would love to keep our relationship going. I think you're just great, man.
Well, damn, I'm going to hold you to that, man. 'Cause,
Hey, as long as I can, I will, absolutely. And I'd also like to thank Scott from Guilty Pleasure Cinema. I haven't quite checked you out yet. I'm not going to lie, but I totally will after this segment because you had some great arguments, and I'm actually looking forward to it, buddy.
Well, we discovered each other, yesterday?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, there's catching up. The day before, I think, with these, so yeah. No, I went through and listened to the zombie one today while editing my next movie. If you've seen Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe, that's what I'm putting up this week. So, that's, yeah. But no, this is awesome. I definitely love connecting and making contacts and just talking about movies. You could probably tell that. But it's a hell of a lot of fun, and to actually get feedback and bounce it off people, that's awesome. Oh my god. So much fun.
Awesome. Thank you guys for coming on. Really, I can't say anything more than thank you so much. I appreciate it. I thought this was a great talk, and later.